This is Off Topic on the Corus Radio Network.
Welcome to this week's edition of Off Topic with the Scott Brothers, the last one of the year. I'm JD.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Drew. This week we're talking about movies. Are PG-13 movies more violent now than R-rated movies from the 80s?
Yes, they are. And we're also going to talk to Sharon Vinderine. She's the founder of Parent Tested, Parent Approved. We're going to talk to her about how to be fiscally responsible over the holiday season.
And we'll get to how having a horrible boss can affect your health.
I am not a horrible boss.
No, that's not what everyone says.
But first, we like to start every week with a roundtable discussion. What do you guys have? What's out there? What's bugging you? What are you liking?
I have finished my holiday shopping. Nice and early.
I'm calling BS on that.
No, I have. I have finished it. I've simplified things. I've made lists throughout the year. I am done.
Did you check them twice?
Well, I did check them twice, actually, and I discovered there were a lot of naughty and very few nice.
I have one. I guarantee that you haven't done this yet.
What?
Put up your tree.
No. Well,
I've done it.
I haven't been home to put up my tree yet.
Exactly. So
you go by my house more than I go by my house.
Yeah, it's not fair. When I'm only home 2 weeks of the year, yeah, you have a leg up on me.
This is an interesting thing that I was thinking about, though. So I'm done. Of course, I find, I feel no stress because I don't have to worry about last-minute shopping. But how do you feel about, one, the people who wait until the very last minute and then get you a gift, and they're at the mercy of whatever's available? So I personally feel like that shows that they don't really have as much interest in getting you a gift if they wait that long. And the other is, some people don't feel that shops should remain open for holidays. They think they should be closed, which I don't mind. If somebody's willing to work, not everybody, celebrates the same holidays.
No, I think it's fine because, if someone wants double, because it's double time or time and a half or something if you're working a holiday, but it's a convenience thing. There are a lot of people that are busy working individuals. Myself, I don't even get home until 2 days before Christmas. Granted, I've done all my shopping because I shop online, but if I did have something last minute...
That means his assistant has done all the shopping.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's got great taste.
When you, but I was going to say, when in the holidays, I used to work in the corporate world, and during the holidays, I always gave up my Christmas to somebody who had a family, because I was not afraid to come in and work because I don't have kids, and, my dogs, they don't know if it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or
There are always going to be people last-minute shopping, some that are just lazy and wait to the last minute, and others that have just been too busy with their lives. I think it's a great thing to have stores open.
What you said about the other thing, though, about they don't care if they get you a last-minute gift, I actually don't feel that way. I am grateful for whatever a person gets me, whether they've made it, they bought it. They've taken the time to do that.
Even if it has a Shoppers Drug Mart sticker
honestly,
on it?
It could be a single sock, and I would still appreciate that they took the time to get me something.
Used,
hopefully.
I don't know. Like, for me, because and I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm not a gift person. I don't like receiving gifts and things like that. Unless it is something that somebody has put some effort into. If somebody goes and I can tell that they just went and, picked something at the store last minute, they didn't put any thought into it. So why would I want a gift?
Jonathan and Drew return everything.
Picky.
Everyone knows, Mom knows that if she's going to get me clothes, she has to be okay with the fact that if it's not something I would wear, I'm going to swap it for something I would wear.
Yeah, but it's also not just the fact that maybe I don't like the style. I have monkey-long arms, and anytime someone gets me a shirt, it never fits me. So
he also throws his feces around.
That's the weird part.
Yeah. But I also, for me, when I'm buying gifts for people, friends, and family, I do it online. So, like I said, I've already finished all of my shopping online. Do you guys prefer to be in a store to get inspiration, or do you prefer to go online and organize yourself there with less chaos?
I like both these days. Like, I've kind of adapted. I used to just like going shopping at the mall or the stores, but now I kind of like getting on Amazon and checking out other stuff. So,
well, that would be nice if Drew shopped on Amazon. He actually just goes online and buys people a month web hosting. How is that going to get you? I don't understand.
No, I buy people a month's prescription to Property Brothers.
Why are we still hounding out, talking about my week? You guys tell me, what's your week? What's going on?
And by the way, you guys just went right over. I said a month's prescription to Property Brothers. It's medically prescribed. Anyway, what's happening online? I had one fan that was just messaging asking us what we think the most romantic gift would be that we would give a significant other. What do you guys think? Any ladies who trying to impress
Could you play
Jonathan?
me some sexy music, please?
Yeah.
I don't know, the most romantic thing. I did one, which I thought was a great idea, is I got a couples massage, but it wasn't a couples massage where we went for the massage. It was where I had actually learned to massage, and I was doing the massage for the other person.
Did you give the happy ending?
I thought the first time around I want to show like I'm a legit, house of massage, and then maybe next time.
I thought you were gonna say you got a couples massage, but because you're single, you just took both ends of it.
I think I would do vacation. Like take the person I care about on a nice vacation. That few days that we go away will just be all about us.
You had me at vacation.
Yes, I'm taking Jonathan on vacation.
I'm not gonna say what it is because a certain girlfriend is listening in on us right now, and I don't want her to know what I'm doing.
All right, earmuffs, Linda, earmuffs.
Well, I saw a question online, or it wasn't a question, it was a statement. It was someone saying that we often talk about sex during our show. How about instead of that we give our thoughts on kissing and cuddling?
Oh, schmoopy.
It's a great intro to sex.
This is a segue.
All right. Well, okay. Let's be legitimate here. I mean, Jonathan, you're single right now, but you have had girlfriends in the past. Do you enjoy just cuddle time?
I used to be married. I've had many long-term, girlfriends. I am okay. Like I enjoy kissing. Yes, absolutely. I love kissing. I enjoy, you sort of spend that moment close to each other and cuddle for a little bit, and then after a little bit, get out of my space.
That's why he's single.
No, it's not. No, when you go to actually sleep, it's hard to sleep when you're like all like the body heat and everything is all there. You give each other a little space.
Look, I think kissing is very important, and I'm going to be a little prideful here. I'm going to say I'm a very good kisser. I consider it a skill, and I've worked on it.
I don't care to find
years
out.
and years. Yeah. Come on, I'll show you guys.
Studies say I'm better.
I think that it's a very important part of being with someone.
Yeah, I remember JD. You told me though a few years back you had a girlfriend that all she wanted to do was like 1 hour long kissing sessions. That would drive me insane.
Yeah, that's too long. That's definitely too long.
Well, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we're talking movies. The PG-13 movies of today are rated lower than their counterparts from the 80s, which often had an R rating.
We'll also explore whether or not you think violent movies can affect the way a person acts.
Don't forget to hit us up on our social media for kisses and cuddles. I'm at Mr. Silver Scott, Drew's at Mr. Drew Scott, and JD, of course, Mr. JD Scott. We love hearing from you guys because a lot of the topics we bring up, it's stuff that you've suggested to us. We'll be right back with more Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
It's Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
Thanks for tuning into Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Drew.
And I'm JD. We're talking about how movies today are rated lower than in previous years. In particular, PG-13 movies. They seem to be more violent than the R-rated flicks of the 80s.
It's true, because if you look at movies like Terminator or Die Hard, which were released in 84, 88, they were both rated R. I'll be back.
Yeah, don't ever.
Is that Die Hard or was that Terminator?
You're probably actually seriously asking. No, but those movies today, if they came out because of the violence in them, they'd probably actually only be PG-13.
Which is very strange. Like, whereas if there's a high sexual content, it will definitely have an R rating these days.
Well, explicit language, sex, that does still give it the R rating. But violence, they're basically saying that today
violence
youth,
doesn't matter.
Well, no, youth are just they're exposed to it a little bit more. Movies that come out like The Hunger Games or The Avengers, there's a lot of violence in those films. And for sure, if they'd come out in the 80s, those would have been R-rated films. But no, not today.
Jonathan's serious when he says for sure.
For sure.
Not for sure.
You're Canadian, aren't you? A really good example of this that I'm looking forward to testing out is Robocop. It was seriously violent in the 80s, and the new one is coming out very soon.
I know. I've been trying to get a sneak copy.
It's PG. It's rated PG. So I'm curious how they're going to line up with each other.
But that's the thing, too. Nowadays, a lot of movies that are PG, they still have a fair bit of violence. It's as soon as you put a sex scene into it, that's when it goes to rated R, right?
Well, no, that's... If a movie's bad, they put a sex scene in it just so it's good. That's the difference.
Because then the guys will watch it.
Makes me watch it.
No, it's if you look on average, they'd say that movies, say looking back at the 50s, for example, and movies today, there's 4 times the violence in action films or in flicks today than back in the 50s. So I wonder what it's going to be like. In my mind, I actually picture it being like Total Recall, where it's just life is so drab and there's sex in your face everywhere and violence everywhere. Like is that the trend that movies are getting?
Isn't that kind of what it's like already? The internet just is pumping that into us.
But do you find people get affected by movies the same way you say some kids play too many violent video games, it makes them violent. People watch violent movies, and then they get out there and they feel energized and violent.
But you'd have to be pretty
stupid.
You'd have to have mental health issues or something to do that, because I love watching films, and I can watch the goriest violent film, and I'm not going to go out and murder somebody just because I watched a film.
Well, can you guys actually remember, though, the first R-rated movie that you watched back in the day?
It could have been Robocop, actually, for me, or
Poltergeist, I think. That was mine. Was that our...
I think it was, yeah.
Now, for me, it would have been like Rocky Horror Picture Show or the...
Rocky Horror wasn't.
No, I don't think that... I think Rocky Horror was actually just PG.
Oh, was it? Okay. But there was also It. Remember It?
Oh, that freaked me out.
But that was a
gave me
TV
nightmares.
show. That wasn't a movie.
No, the movie. The movie version of It.
It was a TV movie.
Oh, a TV movie.
Yeah.
Still a movie. That freaked me out.
Pennywise the Clown.
On the same note,
Actually,
though,
that's one thing I'll say. It should be an R rating if it has clowns in it.
Yeah, that is true.
That's scary.
But another one that could have been my first R-rated was one called Woman in Red, or Lady in Red, and it wasn't violent. It was a sexual movie, and there was full frontal nudity in it.
Was that to be confused with the Red Shoe Diaries?
Very similar to that. But no, I mean, it was both sides of the spectrums, and I don't know which one affects you more,
Well, in a movie, you have violence, you have sex, you have crude language. These are all things that I think, could and should take a movie to an R rating. But do you agree with that? I mean, kids nowadays, they're around swearing more than kids were back in the day, and same with a lot of these visual stimulants.
Well, I think it comes down to the parents. The parents really have to educate the children. I mean, you can't just put blinders up as a parent and pretend that none of that exists, because the kids are going to experience it. They're going to come across it, and then they're going to learn it from somebody else. So I think it's important to educate your kids about what's out there. But you're right in the sense that if you look at these two different things, you look at one that is sex, which is a natural act. It's something that happens.
Not the way they do it on TV most of the time.
Well, it depends. But then you look at violence and someone being murdered and something that you would never experience your family doing. I mean, I feel like violence is even is worse than sex. Sex is a natural thing. Well, killing someone is not.
I think that I used to react to violence, be almost horrified, and nowadays it barely phases me.
Yeah, because you've seen so much of it. But it's also in reality, in news, there's so much violence shown through news that it sort of dulls the audience.
No, it's totally true, and there needs to be a lot more sex in the news.
Yeah. there is actually the nude sex or something like that if you go online.
The naked news.
Yeah, the naked news. Regardless of whether it's from the 80s or whether it's today, all I know is if I'm watching TV and a movie comes on and mom and dad are in the room and a sex scene comes on, I am awkward and uncomfortable and I don't want to be there.
Well, our mother leaves right away.
But suddenly the remote is not working.
Yeah.
Come on, JD, change the channel.
Well, I don't think that the rating system really affects how kids see movies. If it's marketed properly, they're going to see it, violence or not.
Well, and like Jonathan said, it comes down to the parents. However it's marketed, if the parents don't want their kids to see those movies, they need to draw that line.
When we return, we're going to talk about dapping, respect knuckles, or spudding. Could these replace the handshake in daily interactions?
Sounds like you're just making up these words as we go
You're
along.
totally making up spudding. We'll be right back to clarify what Jonathan's referring to. You're listening to Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
You're listening to Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
Back on Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network. I'm Drew.
I'm JD.
And I'm Jonathan, and I am so fly, guys, because I am going to educate you on Fist Bump Manifesto.
By saying you're fly, you are not fly.
Man, you have no idea how cool I am because I'm learning stuff all over the place. Do you know how to give a closed fist high five, or to dap, pound, fist pound, bro fist, spudding, faux knuckles?
This all sounds sexual.
Box, bust, pound dog, brops, bones, respect knuckles, all different ways to basically ball up your fist, tap it against somebody else, and replace the germ disgusting transfers from a handshake.
A new study published in the Journal of Hospital Infections, that is actually a thing, suggests
Who subscribes to that?
I do. That suggests that fist bumping instead of handshaking may prevent the spread of an infection, and proposes more people engage in fist bumping over shaking hands when greeting people.
I am so okay with this.
This is the best ever. I'm a bit of a germaphobe, and I totally love this.
I would like to actually take it one step further. I will post an article in the Journal of Hospital Infections and suggest we don't touch each other. Is that
Ever
option
at all?
No. Well, even like, like think of this. I'm wiping my nose on the back of my hand, like.
Yeah.
First, why would you do that?
And then I'm fist bumping you. I'm still transferring.
So we should just be doing a wave.
It should just be like a toodaloo.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
Live long and prosper.
How many germs are on the hand of that nice Japanese man who just bows? He's not transferring any germs. His hands are at his side and he bows. That is what I want. I would love to do that.
Okay, but that being said, we're all in business. I do like sometimes to, finalize with a good firm handshake. Or if I'm meeting a girl's dad, I like to give a good firm handshake.
I like to do it like Crocodile Dundee, because then you really feel that bond.
Wait, you mean the crotch grab?
Yeah, isn't that some cultures do that?
That's why you spend nights in jail.
It is true. No, I do think that you have to have some sort of personal interaction. For me, the thing is, if complete strangers walk up to you, particularly in airport bathrooms, and it happens to me all the time, people walk over like, oh hey. At the urinal, I was at the urinal, he was at the urinal next to me. He reached over to shake my hand at the urinal. I don't want to touch anything. That's pre-hand wash.
That's disgusting. I have that. People say, hey, Property Brothers, I love your show. And they shake my hand right when they come from the urinal, too. I actually say, oh, I have a policy, no bathroom handshakes.
Ladies, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I would probably guesstimate about 70% of men do not wash their hands after they use the restroom.
It's gross. I watch, when I'm in the mirror washing my hands, and most people don't wash their hands properly, even when if you just turn it on and flash your hands underneath it, that doesn't wash anything. No. You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do the happy birthday song twice, or count the alphabet, or whatever they say. That's how long you're supposed to wash to actually disinfect your hands. But I want to know what it is for women. In fact, you guys should hit us up on social media and tell us, do women wash their hands usually in a public bathroom?
Actually, I spoke to a janitor when I was coaching basketball at a high school. The janitor told me that the women's washrooms were always twice as dirty as the men's or more, and the same at a mall. I was talking to a janitor at a mall, and they said the women's bathrooms are disgusting and that they're way worse than the guys. But this is, with the fist bumping thing, I was looking at this article here, and it actually says that they took a bunch of clean-handed research subjects.
I thought you were going to say cleavage. So is it cleavage bumping?
Yeah,
cleavage bumping.
That's something I would try. No, the clean-handed research subjects, and they had them either shake hands or fist bump, and then they cultured the bacteria on their hands after, and they did find that the people who did the fist pump, it was 3 times cleaner than the people handshaking.
Did you say fist pump or fist bump? Those are two very different things.
Yeah, the fist bump.
I'm pumping my fist all the time.
There's very little bacteria transfer on the Jersey Shore. That's all fist pumping. But no, you're right. That's what they said, that there was very little transfer, and it makes sense because you're touching surfaces with the underside of your hands, and when you handshake, that's what you're transferring with. But when you fist bump, it's the back of the hands. So you're less likely.
Here's what this brings up, though. You're going to run into that awkward moment where they go for the handshake and you go for the fist bump. It's like,
and then you go back and forth.
The
and
handshake hug.
No, the even more awkward is they go for the fist bump and you think they're attacking you, so you punch them out. So
how many times?
Are we going to have more nosebleeds because of the whole fist bump thing?
I think it's hilarious, though, when you have someone who's not used to a fist pump. I keep saying fist pump to the fist bump, and then you go to do it, and then they just shake your fist.
They grab your fist and shake it. Now that's weird.
I have had that.
That is creepy. You've been fist bumping already?
No. I do the explosion all the time.
Yeah. If you're in a business situation, don't blow it up.
I always blow it up.
But my question is, so where did the handshake come from? Is it that just sealing a deal from back in the day? Because it's disgusting. It is disgusting how many people have their hands on their face and they touch their mouth and their nose, and then they want to touch you.
It's better than originally, and these are facts that I've researched. Originally, when you used to meet somebody, you would just reach out and put your fingers in their mouth.
Where would you ever find a stat like that?
I just made that up.
Hedonism resort.
But I'm glad that you believe that. No, I have to appreciate guys like Howie Mandel. Like Howie Mandel's a germaphobe. He takes a little bit too much, but fellow Canadian. But he will not shake hands with people. If by chance he's going to reach out to you, it's going to be for a fist bump. But he does not shake hands with anybody.
I heard if he knows a person and he knows they're clean, then he's a little more respectful of that, and then he'd be willing to shake. And I'm with that. I don't like shaking hands because of how dirty a lot of people are.
Well, I respect somebody else's feelings. If somebody doesn't want to shake hands and they're not that type of person, I don't mind. I remember you, Drew. We used to be, or we were at a retail outlet one time. I think it was a fabric shop, actually. You were with me and I was shopping for fabric, and we met somebody. And, I was like, oh, hi, how are you? And she worked for the store there. She refused to shake your hand.
and you made it awkward. So you held your hand out there, and you were like, oh, so you're one of those? You're one of those no handshakers? I said it in a nicer way than that, but it was weird.
A nicer robot.
She did it in a very weird way. But the one thing I would say is that I would rather shake hands than people who want to just come up, strangers that want to come up and kiss you on the cheek.
And then they miss and they kiss your ear. That's really creepy. I don't know. I'm digging the new way of interacting with people, although, I think you can kind of figure out something. Maybe like a hip bump. That would be cool.
I'd be willing to try the hip
bump. Try anything else.
A lot more injuries with that, though.
Well, we got to take a quick break, but remember to hit us up on social media. I'm at Mr. JD Scott, Drew is at Mr. Drew Scott, and Jonathan is at Mr. Silver Scott. Tell us your thoughts. What do you think of fist bumping or handshaking? We'll be right back on Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
How about the nose kiss?
Eskimo kisses.
Nose rub.
The Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
This is Off Topic on the Corus Radio Network.
We're back on Off Topic with the Scott Brothers. I'm Drew.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm JD. And we all know that as the holidays approach, the excitement and the spirit of the season tends to have us bringing out our wallets a little more than we'd like to.
Exactly. And, often we forget to set a budget for ourselves over the holidays, often spending way more than we should on gifts.
So joining us on the phone is Sharon Vindereen. She's the founder of Parent Tested, Parent Approved. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can enjoy the holidays without going broke. How you doing, Sharon?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Excellent. I want to get the details because, one for ourselves, but also everybody else has been messaging into us just to find out some tips and tricks, things that they can do just to save a little on the holidays.
Well, first of all, so what is PTPA?
So PTPA, like you said, it stands for Parent Tested, Parent Approved. We're basically an awards program. So companies come to us because they want their products tested, and we test those products using real families across North America. So basically, parents sign up. If they get selected, we ship them products free of charge, and they tell us whether they love the product or not. And if several families love the product, it earns their certification. So that way, when you're shopping for a product and you see that seal of approval on the package, you know that your peers have tested it and it's worth your hard-earned dollars.
That is awesome.
They're telling you. Yeah.
Can I get on that list? And I will take any toy you want to throw at me and play with it.
Absolutely. Go to ptpa.com and sign up.
Yeah, Drew can only play with toys for 8 and under. He doesn't understand anything over that.
Okay, we have lots of those. No problem.
So part of the testing that you do, or give me some of the criteria. What are they judging? Are they judging on value and quality, things like that?
Safety?
That's exactly. So we leave the safety component out of it in the sense that we're not testing if they say that it's BPA-free, if it's really BPA-free. That we leave up to government bodies. There's a lot of those that are looking. There's CSA, things like that. We are testing to see that the product did what it said it was going to do. It was a good value product that if, for example, it's a garment and you washed it, it actually held up in the wash after 5 washes, 10 washes. It's very different to test a product in a lab and then to test it in a real life family environment where your kids are dropping the products, a case is being thrown, it's being manhandled. That is the best test for whether a product really will stand the test of time in your home.
Well, with your experience with gifts, because there are a lot of great products out there, and maybe you can even tell us what some of your hot items are this season. But on a budget, every family out there, they have a budget. But I find when I'm trying to stick to a budget, I always go over. What are some things that you find are really great that you can stick to a simple budget?
Okay, so a couple of key steps. Number one, I think a lot of us do it backwards. We go out, we shop for people, we find the things we really want to buy them, we buy it for them, and then we worry about the cost of it afterwards. So the most important thing to do is work backwards. So start with your list first. Figure out how much you actually have to spend. Do you have $500 to spend? Make a list of people and some ideas of what you can afford within that $500. Very often we go into a store and we get carried away because we see some great electronic and we think, oh, Bob would really love that. I should get that for him. But we don't consider how much we actually have in the pot to spend.
Or how much we actually like Bob.
Yeah, I know. That could be a problem too.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've noticed too with a lot of like the people around the office, or if you're doing like a baby shower, things like that. You don't want to come across as cheap. But you also don't want to go spending a whole bunch of money for somebody, that's not direct family necessarily. So coming up, the one that I was involved in, it was a $50 limit. That was the Secret Santa that we had to do.
Right.
And it is hard to come up with anything decent. So I usually make something that has a little bit more sentimental value, or something that's kind of funny, humorous to
Sentimental for you. Jonathan always gives me these little man-made cards. Oh, I love it.
I actually like them. That's my favorite. I like in those
That
ones.
was almost believable. I believed it. You know, and I think that's a great idea. So, you know, if you don't have a budget that's going to be able to cover absolutely everyone, one great idea is Pinterest. Have you guys been on Pinterest before?
Yep.
We are on
yes.
Pinterest.
Okay, so on Pinterest, you could find 1,000,001 great ideas. And people really do forget that the gifts are supposed to be a sentiment. They're supposed to tell that person how you feel about them. So Pinterest is a great way. You can make photo collages. There's tons of creative ideas that you can go online and find, and you can spend so little on that, but it can mean a lot. The other thing that's a really good idea that I like, you could go and buy things in bulk. So go to Costco and buy a ton of baked goods or buy a case of wine. And what you can do is create your own little baskets. So you buy things in bulk, you save a lot of money buying them in bulk, then you split them up amongst baskets. They're great for coworkers, they're great for clients, they're great for neighbors, things like that. The postman, you know, people that you feel that you don't have to have a personal touch necessarily in that gift, but you want to show them your appreciation. Those are really great ways to do it.
I love this. Yeah, you go to Costco, you get a bunch of bulk baking, you give that to your friends, but you really
Baking
need
or
to
bacon?
get bacon and baking.
Okay.
But then you get that box of wine to get through the holidays for yourself. That's really important.
And is that a thing? Are we?
You might want to share it. I don't know. You might want to share it, or it depends on how rough the holidays are getting. You might want to keep that case.
Are we actually supposed to give the postman a gift? I don't think
I think
I've
that's
done that.
nice.
I don't know. I do.
Or the garbage man? I don't know.
Well, it just depends. I mean, I like to think of the people, you know, who have the ability to make my life difficult if they want, and then those are the people that I give a gift to. Myself, I'm not really the gift type of person. I don't like receiving gifts. If I want something, I get it. I like when somebody does something that shows they thought about me, or they did something that put some thought into it. So I had one friend who did a photo collage from one of the trips that we went on, and another friend as well who had listened. And I'm a good listener. When somebody says something obscure, and it could be in March, I remember it, and then that's what I use to come up with a clever gift. And they think, oh my goodness, how did you ever remember that? It's because I write that stuff down.
That's smart. Yeah, I write it down
people
too.
People really value that. They like to know that they're being listened to, and those are the most valuable gifts.
All I know is if I decide to get these two a gift here, it's probably going to be a rock this
Well,
year.
that will be a step up from last year.
So what would you say are a couple of the hot items, hot toys for kids this season?
Okay, there are a ton of hot toys. So we have kind of a short list of things that our families love. So Hasbro has an amazing lineup of products. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the Big Hugs Elmo. Have you guys gotten your hands on them? He is amazing. He is 22 inches high, so for some kids, he is life-sized. He literally wraps his arm around the child and hugs the child. He sings lullabies if you lie him down. If you turn him upside down, he knows he's upside down. He'll start cracking jokes about it. He will sing to you. He is amazing, and he is on sale everywhere right now. So that is for the little ones in your life. Another great gift idea is tablets. Tablets are huge this season. So we have a couple of different ones that we tested that we absolutely loved. The Kobo Ark. This just came out by Kobo. They have several e-readers, but this particular one is amazing because not only is it an e-reader and a tablet, but they came out with something called a kids store. So parents can get this tablet for their kids, and they can put a certain amount of money on the account. And they can limit it and say, for example, I have an 8-year-old son. I don't want him being able to buy books that are for an age range above the age of 10. So you could set limits for them. He can go into the store. Let's say I've put $20 there. He can independently go into that e-store. The only books he'll be able to see are the ones for his age range.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the kids feel really independent. They're really excited about this new tablet, and they're really excited about reading.
And I love this because tablets are good for kids of any age. Thanks for joining us, Sharon. Now for a really awkward transition. After the break, we're talking sex. Women who fake orgasms are far more likely to do this.
You're listening to Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
Now back to Off Topic on the Corus Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us for Off Topic with the Scott Brothers. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Drew.
And I'm JD. Trust is such a big thing in a relationship, especially when it comes to sex. So why, when you're getting down to it, would you fake an orgasm?
To spare your partners feeling like they're not doing a good job.
No, it's a terrible idea. It is a downward slope because you're teaching them bad habits. You're telling your spouse, this is what I like, or not even just a spouse, your partner, this is what I like, and so they're going to keep doing the same thing thinking that it's getting better for you.
Wait a minute. You have sex before marriage?
No,
I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard
okay.
people do that.
No,
That's
I mean, to
terrible.
be completely blunt, I will actually have that conversation with a partner. I will say to them, look, I don't want you to ever fake an orgasm because then we're not going to improve on
So
this.
JD is still hoping one day he'll experience the ability.
I've
to
never
do
seen
that.
it happen, but
No, I find, I have in the past, I've had sex, believe it or not, it's happened, and I did have this
Wait,
one
we're going to go to
individual-
Judge Lynn, is this
Yeah.
true?
We're posting the video on the ScottBrothers.com.
No, but when I was younger, this one girl though, she did I'm sure someone's seen in a movie or when somebody does the fake orgasm, but it's like the overtop, like the porno orgasm.
When Harry Met Sally?
Yeah, like Harry, exactly. But it's like the overtop, like and they're making the weird. And I actually stopped and I was like, really, that's just weird. I'm like, that's obviously fake.
You need some acting lessons.
They
Yeah.
weren't as good as Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
I'd have preferred hearing Billy Crystal do it.
Okay, wait, here's an interesting question. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
No.
Men faking orgasms?
Because I have. Not recently, but when I was younger, I did a few times. And then I realized it is a bad thing to do, but I had done it.
I have, because I watched 40 Days and 40 Nights. Josh Hartnett was my mentor for many years. No, I honestly, I was kind of like, this is going nowhere, and I really
wanted
am
it
getting
over.
tired. I want it over with. So, there we go. Let's move along.
So you're both liars.
When I was younger.
When I was younger, yes.
Okay.
Now I
just,
tell the truth about everything.
I'm not
True.
going to lie that it does. If it gives somebody a sense of, inadequacy when they feel like they haven't been able to pleasure you. And so I know that if somebody does not orgasm, then they do feel bad, whether it's the guy or the girl. I don't want somebody to feel that way, but I think it's a very slippery slope in the sense that you're trusting someone, a partner, somebody that you're trusting to have sex with, especially if you're married to this person. It's supposed to be a bond of trust, and if you're lying to them at their most vulnerable state, which is generally when somebody's getting intimate, I think that is a dangerous thing to do.
Well, you can never get better at it.
That's
It's
true.
like any skill. You have to improve on it and learn a new person. And if you're lying about it, you won't do that.
Well, here's a point, though, too. I mean, people who are happy in their relationships, and I think that's about being open in your relationship, not an open relationship, but talking with the person in your relationship, they're less likely to cheat. So I think if you're lying to someone in your relationship and faking orgasms, that's actually opening you up. In this study, it actually says you're more open to cheating.
Oh, that's just like what Jonathan said. Like it's a dangerous road to go down because it's going to just get worse and spiral.
It is. And I mean, so many years have gone into inventing the female orgasm, which I think it's now been around for 5-6 years, something like that.
what, the orgasm?
It's a myth. Come on.
Yeah, it's a unicorn, I would think. No, it's
I
true.
like unicorns.
I think, everything is all mixed in together, whether it's honesty, whether it's, the ability to improve. I think a lot of guys are lazy and they don't try new things. They don't try to impress their partner. And so, therefore, the woman gets bored. And so she fakes it just to get it over with, something like that, or pretends to have a headache, something like that. But I read a study, and it clearly says that women who are known to fake orgasms are more likely to cheat.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's why I always make sure I try new things so that it keeps it fresh. Like, I tried this new thing called missionary. Whoa, blow my mind.
All the kids are doing it.
No, boring. Yeah, but like you had said, some people may be more willing to cheat. How would you deal with a spouse that cheated?
Well, so the biggest thing for me is communication, is honesty in a relationship. If somebody came to me that I was in a relationship with and they said, I'm having these feelings like, towards somebody else. I don't know why I'm feeling this. I want to talk about it. I'm open to talking about that because, of course, I would want to resolve the issue and find out what's causing that. I would hate to find out after the fact that something had happened because you can't take that back.
Well, that's just it. If they have foregone that part of the process by not talking to you about it and they've already gone to the other person or they're cheating, I don't think you can come back from that, really. Like, they've made their choice. You know the kind of person that your spouse is at that point, and I think that it's time to find someone better.
Yeah, and I think it's disappointing if it comes to that. I mean, for me, for the longest time, I was single. I enjoyed just focusing on work and being single. But anyone I was dating or hanging out with, I was very open from the beginning to say where my mind frame was at. You know, if I wasn't looking for an exclusive relationship. But I think that's the thing. Some people say that's an move. I don't think that's the case. I think that it just means I'm being open and honest.
Is there beef for that?
I think you can say that on here.
I think that the big thing for me is, no, I would never want to put somebody through that emotional state of, finding out that they've been cheated on. I also, I do feel that people can change and people can improve. If somebody maybe had cheated once when they were younger and then discovered the error of their ways, or maybe their spouse or somebody cheated on them, I think that you can change.
Oh, yeah.
But then I think there are also those people that they're never going to change. It's the same mentality. They've done it a million times. They have no remorse, and that's just somebody I would never in a million years date.
But would you want to take that risk if you think someone could change, but they've done it in the past and you know about it? Are you willing to be that, like, waste years of your life if they end up being the same? They can never change.
I think that sometimes you have to realize that people are human, and if you did care about someone, maybe you have to give them that chance.
Yeah. I'm willing to give people chances. I think you can tell if somebody is willing to change and improve or if they're not.
So we're all in agreeance. I was going to make up a word there.
That is a made-up word.
We're all in agreeance.
We're all going to try this sex thing one day?
Yeah, one day after marriage.
I'm the only one who was married, so I've had sex.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Special thanks to our guest, Sharon Vandereen, for your tips and advice on how to stay on budget this holiday season.
Don't forget to hit us up on our social media. We love to hear from you guys. On Twitter, I'm Mr. Drew Scott. Jonathan is Mr. Silver Scott, and JD is Mr. JD Scott. And you can check us out online at thescottbrothers.com. Thanks for tuning in today and every week. We just love putting on the show, and we love sharing our experiences with you. Have a great holiday, whatever you're celebrating this season. We just want it to be a great one. I can sing a holiday song or do my best Meg Ryan.
Song.
You just ruined Christmas. You've been listening to Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network.
You've been listening to Off Topic with the Scott Brothers on the Corus Radio Network. Want more of the Scotts? Check them out on TV. Catch the Property Brothers and Buying and Selling on W, a Corus Entertainment company.